Hey, so I got a few DMs and replies to this asking how I was able to recreate Vincent Schwank's post in Blender, and I thought I'd just give like a quick little breakdown. I also saw that CG Matter made a tutorial on it. Great tutorial. He did things a little bit differently than I did. Still got to essentially the same result, but we're gonna run through it. All right, so first thing I did was create a bunch of icospheres and then duplicate them a bunch. You can do this with icospheres or a cube that you subdivide then cast to a sphere, just not the regular spheres because they won't sim the same. From there, I placed them all out evenly, almost touching in all axes. Then I placed a force in the middle, and this force has a harmonic force on it. These are the settings for it here if you want to steal those. Then all around it, I duplicated a turbulent force 3 times, and those are the settings here. On the ball itself, I set the quality steps to 8. It's, default 0.3 kilograms. I think most of this is default. The only thing that really changed is collisions and self-collisions. I bumped up the sub-steps for these, your quality here. So you just crank those up. From there, you just let it bake, do its thing, and then you have your soft body sim on the inside. From there, I exported everything as an Alembic file so that I can sim again on top of everything. Brought it into a new project again with an icosphere, super subdivided. We want lots of geometry here so we get lots of wrinkles, make it look real pretty. Inside here for the main cloth outside, you can see I really had to crank everything up. Quality steps to 10, 0.5 vertex mass, tension 36.9, compression 27.9, tension 7.5, bending 1.9, bending 0.3. And this is all just playing around. You can obviously find stuff that's a little bit better for you. I also think that the sim could be done all in one, probably. I think this just saves time and frustration of the Blender cloth trying to eat itself. For me, I turned the quality of the base collision of this cloth up to 4, and I turned the roughness down to 0 in self collisions. You can also see that in this setup, I do have forces. Again, I have 2 turbulent forces, and then on the inside, I have a harmonic force. From there, export the whole scene as Alembic again, because then you have even less calculations to deal with. Pull into the new project file, throw on a subdiv. This is the general lighting setup that I went with. I also added a cube for focus pull and a surrounding area. Normally I don't make them like this, but this casts some really cool reflections on the material itself. And the material itself is super simple, to be honest. I played with some different kind of smudge roughness values, then threw those into a color ramp into the roughness, put a little bit of subsurf on it, a little bit of transmission, and I also turned the alpha down just a little bit to kind of help out the transmission, but not increase my render times. Now the scene still is super heavy, so while you're working in it, I recommend turning the subdiv off. That way you just have the general alembics in there. These are my default render settings, 2500 samples. I think it was about 40 seconds a frame, so not too bad, but yeah, ultimately it was just a lot of playing around, and once you get to the finished product, it was really not super complicated. It was just figuring out how to do it. But yeah, thanks to Vincent Schwank for being cool about me recreating his thing. He obviously is doing it way fucking better there. And CG Matter, thanks for showing everybody a different way of doing it, because I never would have thought to do it with GeoNodes.